Welcome to our view. خوش آمدید به یکی دیگر از سری برنامه‌های our view. سوزی خاتمی هستم، تهیه کننده و مجری این برنامه که خوشحال هستم هفته یک بار به منازل شما میایم از طریق تلویزیون جهانی اندیشه که میدونم خیلی از شما طرفدار این برنامه‌ها و تلویزیون هستید، برنامه‌های دیگر عزیزانی که اینجا برنامه ساز هستند و من هم در میان اونها وقتی دارم که با شما به صحبت بنشینم. همینطوری که واقف هستید از برنامه‌های our view، معمولا ما در برنامه‌ها از مهمانان عزیزی دعوت می‌کنیم که حضور داشته باشن و در مورد کارهاشون با ما و شما به صحبت بپردازن. معمولا از دوستانی که در زمینه کارهای هنری، فرهنگی، اجتماعی، اقتصادی، سیاسی و غیره صحبت می‌کنن در این برنامه دعوت میشه. برنامه‌ها همینطوری که باز هم واقف هستید و اطلاع دارید به زبان شیرین فارسی و بعضی اوقات هم به خاطر مهمانانمون به زبان انگلیسی برگزار میشه. امروز برنامه به زبان انگلیسی خواهد بود بعد از این معرفی که خدمتتون خواهم داشت، چرا که مهمان عزیز امروز ما ترجیحاً زبان انگلیسی رو دوست دارن که در موردش به هر حال صحبت بکنن، چرا که بعد میخوان رو وبسایتشون بذارن و این وبسایت ها میدونید که بیشتر دوستانی که نگاه میکنن به خصوص طرفدارانیشون آمریکایی و غیر ایرانی هستن. در نتیجه ما هم قبول کردیم و به زبان انگلیسی باشون صحبت میکنیم. البته کت دکری عزیزم به زبان شیرین فارسی هم صحبت میکنه، ولی فقط و فقط صرفاً به خاطر اینکه بتونه رو وبسایتش بذاره و بیشتر طرفداران خودش رو بکشونه و صحبت ها رو ببینن، قرار شده که به زبان انگلیسی صحبت بکنیم که میدونم خیلی از شما هم صحبت میکنید و مسئله هم باهاش ندارید، فقط محض توضیح بود. و ما لطف میکنید برنامه ها رو میدونم روی سوشال میدیا، فیسبوک، اینستاگرام و حتی لینکدین که من میگذارم دنبال میکنید. یادآور میشم که روی یوتیوب سوزی خاتمی هم چنلی هست که برنامه ها و گفتگوها رو میتونید بهش توجه کنید. ممنونتون میشم که اگر با دوستان عزیزتون هم اینها رو به اشتراک بگذارید. و اما کت دکری عزیزم که امروز مهمان ما هست، خانم نازنین ایرانی آمریکایی هست که متولد تگزاس هست، بزرگ شده لس آنجلس هست، از سنین 5-6 سالگی به لس آنجلس آمده و در حال حاضر یعنی جدیدترین کار و حرفش استندآپ کمدین هست. بله، ما الان هفته ها هست که دنبال رو و مهماندار یک سری از استندآپ کمدین های خانم هستیم به خصوص که کار جدیدی هست، ترند نسبتاً جدیدی هست حتی در آمریکایی ها و من هم همیشه دوست دارم که خانم هامون رو به خصوص مشوقشون باشم و براشون یک پلتفرمی باشم اینجا که کارهاشون به شما از این طریق بتونه معرفی بشه. با امید اینی که فرصت داشته باشید به این مصاحبه به زبان شیرین انگلیسی گوش کنید. بریم و خوش آمدی به کت عزیزم داشته باشیم و در مورد کارهاش، گذشتهش، تحصیلاتش و بک‌گراندش و کارهایی که امروز روز انجام میده و برنامه‌های آیندهش با ما و شما به صحبت بپردازیم. Thank you for being here, Kat, and being patient and listening to my
of course, you speak Farsi
preview.
so beautifully.
Oh, thank you so much.
I wish I
Very
could
nice
speak
of-
like that.
Well, I'm sure you do. A little I spoke to you. You did pretty well.
Thank you.
For someone who was born and raised here, never been to Iran, have you?
No, I always wanted to go. One day I will go.
Maybe one day we will both go
Oh,
together.
I would love that.
Yes, yes.
I would love that.
I can't wait. So you were born in Texas.
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas,
yes,
Texas.
Yes.
Wow, cowboy city. Because I
Yes.
remember when we were kids in Iran, Kat, there was a show called Dallas.
Yes, my
And
mom
it had a
used to
lot
watch.
of viewers.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to England, we also would watch it. And so I kind of thought, well, one day when I go to the States, that's where I want to go. But you were too little when you left Dallas,
I just remembered there was a lot of mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes, okay. So you're happy to have left it and
Oh
be
yeah,
here
I
in
remember
LA.
I was praying when we were traveling to California, and I'm like, please God, let there not be any mosquitoes or ants.
Yes, I guess for a little kid that could be quite annoying.
Yeah.
All right. So how old were you exactly? I did say 5, 6
It was
looking at your
6
bio.
and,
You were
6 and a
6.
half, yeah.
Okay, so you started basically your school here, elementary.
Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little about your experience as a kid when you started school here. Did it matter to you that you left your preschool and kindergarten and came to a new environment with new friends, or you were too little for it to bother you?
Well, I remember that I left my best friend and that was hard. And also
Best
the friends.
Iranian friends you
She
had back
was
there?
Iranian,
Oh,
yes.
so
she
we
was
do have
Iranian.
Iranians in Dallas, Texas.
We do, and actually now there's even more. I
bet.
heard there's a lot of people that are Iranian in Dallas, also in Houston, I believe. But it was exciting. It was exciting to come to a new city, and I quickly made new friends, Iranian friends.
I bet.
There's a lot.
Did you live in LA?
I lived in the valley,
suburb? Or
in
the valley?
LA.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have plenty of Iranians in LA and in the suburb and the valley.
Yeah, I've been in the valley all my life, ever since.
So
we
you're a
moved
valley
here.
girl.
I am a valley girl at heart
Okay,
from
cool.
6 years old.
Cool. So you ended up meeting some Iranian friends.
Yes.
But do you speak Farsi fluently or a little bit?
I do. I actually studied Farsi.
Oh, you did?
I did. I studied
Good
it
for you.
up until first grade, so I could
So you know how to read
read and write
also?
as a first grader.
Good for you. I'm proud of you. That's excellent.
Yeah, I could write my name.
That's important. That's important,
Okay, right,
especially if we
yeah.
end up going to Iran. You
Oh,
definitely
yes.
need to know how to read and write a little bit.
A little
at
bit,
least.
yeah. I could do it, especially if there's vowels.
Besides English, do you speak any other language and a little Farsi?
A little
or
bit of
no?
Spanish. I studied Spanish in high
Good
school
for
for
you.
4 years.
Yes.
And so
As a second language, I think they encourage you to do that.
they
here
do.
in
You
high
have
school,
we had
right?
a choice between Spanish or French.
Well,
So-
Spanish is more handy here, living
Yeah.
in Southern California.
Yeah,
A lot
it
of,
is.
Spanish-speaking people, right?
So yeah, estudié español para 3 años en mis
Good for
escuelas
you.
secundarios. See, there we
Wow,
go.
there we go. So you had a moment to practice your Spanish. here.
That's the one line that I repeat all the time when I say I could speak Spanish because I have it memorized.
That's a good one. Well, I don't know. That's one language I really know very, very, very little. I
Oh,
just
okay.
actually started to pick it up.
Oh, good.
I got one of those tapes to learn.
Yeah.
But I haven't really. I mean, I take it when I go for a walk to listen, to pick up. But that's one language I really have difficulty learning it for whatever reason. Maybe it's my age, because when you're younger, you pick up faster, I'm sure.
Right.
You know, but I do speak German and little French,
Oh,
but
nice.
Spanish I'm having a hard time. I thought when you learn few languages, the third, fourth comes easier.
Oh, yeah.
But for some reason, not in my case.
That happened to me when I went to college, and then I took a semester of Italian because I thought,
Another nice
they're
language.
both Latin, and if I know Spanish, I can learn Italian. But it was the hardest transition to learn Italian after learning Spanish. It was more confusing because the verbs are so similar, and I was just getting confused. At the end, I just started speaking Spanish in the class.
Yes, it can be confusing, but I think it's one of those things that opens a lot of doors.
Yeah.
Once you learn languages,
Definitely.
to go to other countries, to learn other people's cultures, and it just helps in life,
Yeah.
generally speaking. That's
Yeah.
my view of it, which
Yeah.
is why I love languages and to get to know people's culture, etc., etc.
Exactly. I love diversity. I
Yeah.
love learning about other cultures. I wish if I had the choice, I could travel the world and just learn and explore other people's cultures. I'm fascinated. When I come back, every time I travel, I come back to Los Angeles, I get a little bit disappointed because I'm like, it's not, I mean, even though it is very diverse here, but it's not as historical as you might find in other
when
countries.
you live in Europe, for example,
Yeah.
you're so close to other countries all of a sudden
Right.
that, as you know, the fact that you live in any European countries make it that much easier to travel, go to other countries, and just all of a sudden you get to see a lot of different cultures, languages, etc., etc.
Right.
Living in LA makes it that much harder
Right.
because we are so far away from everyone.
Yeah.
That at least for me, that's been the case. That
People
I just,
hesitate to even come to the valley.
Abs-
They're like, do I need a
So
passport? I'm like, no, you don't need your driver's license or passport.
Maybe one of these days we will, but
Right.
right now it's free.
Right
Gotta
now,
go.
you just hop on the 405 101, you'll get here.
And it takes forever.
It does.
But eventually you will.
Right.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, now, tell us, first of all, Kat Dekari.
Yes.
Is it your stage name?
It is my stage.
So you didn't shorten it or anything. It's a complete new name for your stage. Is
my
that right?
my first name was Catherine.
Okay, so Kat for
and,
Catherine,
and then
shortened.
it was Kathy, and then it's Kat, and then one day it'll be Ka.
So little by little she
I'm
takes
shortening
a
it
few
up.
letters away from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make it easier.
Make it easier. Okay, so first of all, I'm so excited and happy
Me
that you
too.
made it to the show.
Well, it's an honor to be on your show. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. And as I said, sometimes we go into the plot of different categories of guests.
Yes.
For the past few weeks, I've been lucky enough to get to know a few stand-up comedian ladies.
My friends, my girlfriends.
And that's amazing.
Yes.
that, I love comedians, and I love to go see stand-up comedian shows. When I first came from London here to LA, I used to go to different comedy stores, mostly in Hollywood, and then it got few more and became more popular, but I didn't see that many women. And I'm talking like white Americans, not necessarily Iranians. I just didn't see. Mostly it was like a men's job, just like some jobs are like men's job initially. And then as I'm getting to do these shows and I see these ladies doing it, especially Iranians mostly, I became even more excited and thinking, wow, this is amazing. So then Mona Sheikh approached me and she came here with Sarah Fatemi. They were here a few weeks ago and they did a fantastic job.
They're amazing
and they're amazing. And I'm now happy to say that you're having a show with them at UCLA.
Oh my God, I got chills when you just said that because I graduated from UCLA.
There you go.
And a long time ago. Yes, I'm old.
There.
But no, I'm saying that, it's going to be a full circle moment. My first time ever performing at UCLA.
Wow.
And I'm honored to be on that show. It's Mona's show, Mona Sheikh's show, and Sarah Fatemi will also be on that show. So it's very exciting.
And I hear Tehran will host the show.
Yes.
And Tehran, when he first started doing his stand-up comedy, he used to come to my radio show, and he was so interesting because obviously he's half Persian, half American, and everybody loved him because the way he spoke a little Persian and American and mixed it and made fun of the two cultures here and there. And then all of a sudden, he just became so famous.
Well, I knew Tehran before he came to LA.
I
met him in DC, so he was at that time just doing radio shows there. And then he moved to LA, and then he just built up, and it's very impressive and inspiring to see someone build themselves up from scratch. And he's been really at it and doing really well. And then a few years ago, when I started comedy, Tehran, myself, and two others, we created our own show called I Ran LA.
Perfect. I saw that too. That was really cute.
Yeah.
And I want you to talk about that as well. But I didn't want to forget about your upcoming show at UCLA.
Yes.
We will obviously mention it towards the end as well. I don't want to forget that. But that got me so excited because looking at the postcards for the upcoming show at the UCLA, I wasn't sure if Kat is gonna also be part of it, and I was just gonna mention it because Mona asked me to, and I thought Tehran is hosting it. And now looking at the brochure, I thought, oh my God, Kat is there too. So I thought I definitely need to announce it. We will talk about it more towards the end as a reminder to our viewers because it's gonna be June 1st in UCLA. Which hall is it again?
I believe it's the James Hall, but we have it all on our social medias. If you go on my website, all the information will be there. Okay. It's definitely on my Instagram and Facebook.
Yes. It's called James Bridges Theater. Yes. That's where it's going to be at UCLA, and it's June 1st. So go and support these guys. They're doing a great job, and you will totally enjoy it. It will be an evening of laughter. I guarantee you that.
And you will love the fact that it's Persian night, Persian girls, all the Persian comedians.
Amazing? Yeah. I know. And we have a lot of UCLA students that are Persians, faculty members that are Persians. So I'm sure it's going to be a packed night.
Oh, yeah.
I'm afraid I won't be around. I'll be traveling, but I will be thinking of you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Now, back to Kat Dekari and how she ended up becoming a stand-up comedian and an actress after going through different paths of life and doing different things that she also liked doing, which is what I really believe that's the best way to get to your final goal. I think a lot of us have that opportunity to study something, either because our parents told us to do it, or we had the passion to do it at a certain age, fair enough, and then throughout life, we, I think, have a right to have other passions build up and then move on. Yeah. I, for one, am guilty as charged. I did that. My education is totally different to journalism and having radio, TV shows. Yeah. But then again, here I am. And I finally found what my passion was about up to a few years. And then I also moved on, went to real estate because that was another passion I had. So I'm all for it. And looking at your bio, I loved it. I thought, my God, she's my friend for life. This lady almost did did what I did in a different way and different areas, but nonetheless, she changed and moved on, and I think that keeps you going.
Yeah.
And keeps you young, which is why you're looking so young. I don't care what you
thank
say
you.
about old days in UCLA. So tell us, what happened? You graduated first. You did your degree at UCLA.
I did. I studied sociology and political science, and I was a pre-law emphasis. My plans were just to go to law school and become a lawyer. I had all my Iranian friends who were my peers that were also becoming lawyers. They were either going to med school or go to law school or dental school.
Those were the three choices those days,
That's
right?
the only options we had as Iranians. They wouldn't let you be a major in anything else.
That's right.
But it was one of the best times of my life. Mm-hmm. I don't regret a moment of any of of my studies because I learned so much. I love learning. So it just made me more diverse. It made me more intelligent just to be able to learn about things I wouldn't have if I didn't become a pre-law.
I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, so
because even though you change your profession and move on to some other areas in life, the fact that you were trained and you learned and you studied, for example, sociology or political science, that built you and made you who you are today.
Oh yeah,
even though you may not be in that field necessarily, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, right?
These are all the experiences that you've gathered academically and otherwise.
Yes, exactly, because you know. You're going to have intelligent conversations with people, maybe about politics or maybe about, and I learned so much about politics. I learned so much about law. And right now, full circle, I'm working at a law firm.
Yes, I noticed.
So that's kind of, interesting. I'm utilizing what I learned in my undergrad and also working at a law firm when I was in undergrad at UCLA. Then now I get to apply that here, and I never thought I'd be working at a law firm. But now that I'm working at a law firm, it's very interesting how it comes full circle again.
It just shows it's always important to have something to fall back to, such as a good foundation and a good study.
Yes.
So if you're educated and you're wise, no matter what you do, you always can fall back into it and pick it up again.
Yeah.
And you have a great knowledge, and no matter what.
No matter what, yeah.
It's funny, we're going to come to this later on, but what I want to know is, after you graduated from UCLA,
yes,
what was your first job?
Then it was right when I graduated, I decided to not go to law school. And then it was like, I've never felt this moment before up until then. It was literally like a snap of a finger, a light bulb, and it was sudden. And it was, no, I don't want to be a lawyer. It was the moment of clarity I've never had experienced before. And as soon as that happened, I'm like, what do I like to do? What are my favorite things? What are my hobbies? What are my passions? And at the time, I really, and I still do, love interior design.
Okay.
So I enrolled myself in UCLA Extension and into the architecture and interior design program. And I worked for multiple designers and picked up hands-on experience while also studying. And that was my first, I'd say, career after
That's another thing I would have liked to study.
Yeah.
That's another fun thing to...
It's fun. It's so much fun.
Absolutely.
And you're a very stylish woman.
Oh,
so, I mean,
thank you.
I've seen your pictures too. You dress really fashionable. And,
thank you. Very sweet
of you. You could tell you have an eye for that.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that's another thing, another area that I would have also liked to get a chance to
It's not too
go
late.
for it. Thank you. Yes. The way I've been going, I guess it's not too late for anything.
It's never too late.
So after that, how many years did you do that in interior design?
I did that probably for 5 years or so, 5-6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you moved on to...
Well, while I was doing that, it's all funny. It all happened at the same time. Like right when I started interior design school, I also broke up with my first love of my life.
Okay.
And so that breakup and the change of career, everything got me into a more personal development work. So I went into meditation.
That really helps.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It was my life-changing
moment.
Like going into these courses to learn about who I am and learning about discerning is the key word. Who I am versus who my culture is, who my parents are, who my family is. Who am I? Who am I taking all the other ingredients out? So I could really understand, like, listen to my voice. What do I want to do? What do I like to do? Who do I like to date? You know, like,
Exactly. Not what I'm told or what I'm expected or what is expected of me, which the society a lot of times, and it's just not Iranians, by the way.
Right. It's
other cultures the same, that we are kind of expected to do certain things, expected to become whoever, and just be a pleaser.
Right.
And
not disappoint.
Exactly. Not to disappoint our family, friends, whatever. But then again, I think the maturity comes when we decide to sit back and look back and think, okay, I come first. I got to be happy before I can make people around me happy, right?
Exactly.
And that's where you got into that.
I was fortunate that I started this like at 20. I started the personal development work around 22 years old.
And you were very young.
It was the youngest in my classes.
Wow.
Everyone in my classes were either going through a divorce. They were going through something that pushed them there. And I was the youngest there. But it was an addiction. It was a very healthy addiction because I was going 3 or 4 times a week. I started taking all their courses, and then I eventually started teaching at that school. And then I branched off and started my own business doing the work.
And how did you find that? Teaching others to meditate, and how was that experience?
The part of teaching others, my God, I fell in love with teaching. I love teaching. And to this day, I love teaching. I love inspiring and empowering and seeing transformations in people, and seeing people really go after what their dreams are. And that's what led me eventually to the end, like here, being a comedian, because I had to really evaluate, like all the time you have to reevaluate because your passions change. And here I am helping others get their dreams, but what is really my dream?
Exactly. So that's probably when you decided, okay, now that I'm teaching others to go after their dreams,
right?
You look back and you reflect and you thought, well, what about me, right?
Right, because there was always, since I was a kid, there was always a voice in the back of my mind, like I was ignoring it. And all throughout elementary school, junior high, high school, I was in theater production, drama classes, acting classes.
So you always
improv.
had that passion.
I always had that passion,
right.
but it was always a hobby.
Right.
And it was always like, a hobby, or it was not something to take serious. It was for fun. And it's what woke me up. It never died. That flame woke up and just never went away. And so it was
Thank
always...
God for that. That you listened to your inner voice.
It took a lot of time, a lot of years, a lot of decades to get to that place where it starts to scream at you. It's like screaming
But I
at
think
you.
it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure maybe if you look back sometimes you may think, well, I wish I'd done that maybe earlier, or why didn't I? Or one of those moments that we sometimes look back and regret and wish we did this instead of that.
Yeah.
But I think I at least got to this understanding that everything happens for a reason.
I'm so on the same page with you, yes.
Well, I told you.
Yeah, we're going to be best friends forever.
No, but seriously, everything happens for a reason.
Definitely.
And at right time.
Yes.
So this is your time. This is the right time for you to follow your passion and your inner passion.
And it's crazy you say that too, because that's with everything. That's with everything, even relationships. And, I'm not married. I'm single. I'm 38 years old.
Okay, she announced it. Are you guys listening?
See, so
single. She's 38. What else?
So don't have any kids.
Okay. Never been married?
Never been married.
Right.
Actually, this
Do you smoke?
No, this Easter, I hid all my eggs in the freezer. So
wow, so she's all prepared, all ready to go.
All ready to go. But it's also, I've come to a place of peace with that, because I've also realized there's timing and there's purpose with that as well. And one of the first things that was epiphany for me when I was doing meditation is, and I was doing this personal development work when I was in my early 20s, the biggest thing that was eye-opening for me was that, wow, it is so sad that Iranian women are told at such a young age that they need to be married at a certain age, or they need to start looking for a husband at a certain age, because I had my peers around me and they were not even 25 yet, but they thought they were so old.
Well, that's the mentality. I
Yeah.
remember when I was back in Iran and going to school, I was not, in my teens years.
Yeah.
Some of my friends already had khastegar coming and getting married, and the parents were very happy, even before they got their high school diploma.
Yeah.
And I thought, my goodness, this is way too early. They're kids.
Yeah.
And yet, to some families, I'm not saying everyone, but it was a tradition that slowly but surely kind of went away once I think the women started realizing they have to make their own lives first by becoming who they want to become.
Yes, exactly.
Like have their own identity
Yes.
before getting to somebody else's life.
And that's why I'm applying what you're saying about everything happens for a reason, because I'm finally realizing that even, yes, with my career, I could see all the steps that helped me to get to who I am today with my career. Everything applies. Everything applies. Even the law, right? Even interior designing, like everything has applied. The life coaching, the meditation, the teaching, it's all doing all of that helped me shape me to be who I am today, to be strong. Because you need to have thick skin to be a comedian.
I was thinking that when I was looking at your shows.
You need to have thick skin.
Becoming a stand-up comedian, even for men who are supposedly stronger or maybe have different skin layers than us women at some point. But even for them, it's a very tough business.
It is. It's very
fun and as laughing for us viewers and sitting in the audience is, but I'm sure backstage it can be quite hard and very difficult. So for women even, I'm sure it's harder because it's kind of newer to women. I mean, it's not like we've had stand-up comedian that they were women for many years. So it's kind of a new era for women to be out there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you have a lot of obstacles to overcome.
Well,
which is what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
First of all, I wanted to ask you, who were you inspired by to become a stand-up comedian, if anyone? And then what were the difficult steps that you had to take as Kat in order to be where you are today?
Wow, that is a great question.
Sorry.
No, that's great. So what inspired me was at the time I was on Snapchat, and that before Instagram stories, right? So you'd see everyone's, like, it was like Instagram stories, but it was Snapchat, and you post videos. And I was following a bunch of comedians and their videos that they would create, and I was just so envious. I was like, I want to do that. I want to be able to talk to the camera and just show my real self and just be transparent and just be myself and be goofy, be silly, like just my whatever creativity ideas come out, just be raw with it with an audience. Like I was like, this is the ideal thing. And so slowly I started doing that myself. I started making my own videos, and then I started having a following, and this is before doing stand-up.
I see.
I knew I wanted to do comedy.
So those were your first few steps that you took.
Yes. I started with just making little selfie videos, and that was before doing stand-up. So it was actually a resolution I made.
Yes, I saw that on your bio.
Yes.
That was a resolution in 2016. So almost
3 years
3
now.
years ago.
Actually, May right now, 2 weeks is going to be my anniversary, 3-year anniversary.
Congratulations!
Yes, I can't believe it's been like that long. It's
And then you became such a success, though, because not everyone who does whatever they want or they have passion, they become successful at it. But I believe there are few elements before your answer. My take is, number one, you're an educated person. And your education and background has helped.
Yes.
Number two, you went to schools for this purpose.
I did. I ended up going
that
to school.
helps. So it's not like one day you woke up and said, well, I want to become a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
You worked at it. You went to school for it. You do your own writing, right?
I write every day.
Okay, so
I post jokes every day. Follow on social media. You'll see.
Absolutely.
If you want to be entertained. I just put whatever comes to me. It's like my open mic space. It's being able to practice whatever comes to me, and I just post it. And I love entertaining, and I love inspiring. So with all the negativity in the world, I like to bring some laughter and some joy and take people's minds off of their pain and share, and share. It's contagious.
Absolutely. No,
Yes.
laughing is contagious just much as yawning is, crying is. When you see someone cry, you feel upset. When you see someone laugh, you want to laugh, or at least that's with me anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know about others, but I'm sure that's contagious. So what are the subjects that you, Kat, want to normally talk about when you go up on the stage? Because every comedian picks certain subjects that is close to their heart, and that's what they talk about. Some is about men and women, some is all about sex, some is politics, some is cultures,
Yeah.
whatever. What is your favorite subject that you normally talk about?
Oh gosh, myself.
Okay.
It's all pretty much self-deprecating material. I'd say that's maybe more my brand.
Forte, okay.
Yeah, my forte. It's the easiest, right? Make fun of yourself, and it's also healing. It's therapeutic, because if you can laugh at yourself, you're already a step ahead of
True.
transformation. So in a way, it is very healing and shifting when you could take your pain and find the funny in it, or find a way
Some
to
humor
laugh
in
at
it, and find the humor
make
in
it
it,
light,
and-
light a little bit.
Yeah, and it's good what you do, because I'm sure a lot of other people watching your shows and watching you up there on the stage, they can relate when you talk, and you would heal them as well. People who are Iranian, American, Jewish, living in LA, whatever other things you talked about
Yeah.
that I've picked up watching your few shows that you did. So
Yeah.
that's excellent. You are actually helping the community.
I hope so.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure that's the way it is. I mean, it's not just like helping yourself by talking about your whatever bothers you or not bother you, or whatever the factors are. Talking about the Iranian LA things,
Yes, I love talking about that too.
I want to hear some examples. Like just whatever you can talk on the air, like the TV.
Putting me on the spot.
No, but like TV, because it comes to my mind like a
Yeah.
lot of things that Iranians do that can be funny living in U.S.
Yeah.
Or strange, funny, whatever you want to call it. What are a few samples, if you can come up with something? Just be funny here.
Well,
But just watch the language.
I
but
love
just be funny.
I love talking about Westwood, or as Iranians say,
Westwood?
Westwood. I say I love talking about the accent, right?
Yeah.
First of all, I say, Persians, they can't pronounce W and V where they're supposed to go.
Because we don't have it in Farsi.
But
That's
they
what the
switch
difference-
it. So when they want to say
I've noticed.
vest, they say
West.
west. So they could say it. When they want to say waiter, they say waiter. When they want to say
So why do you think that is then?
I don't know. That's
Just
a curiosity I have, but I played with that idea. We have the little part of a town called Westwood, and it's just blocks, like 3 or 4 blocks of Persian restaurant after Persian restaurant after Persian restaurant, Persian
And
bakery,
supermarkets and
Persian
bakery.
bakery, bookstore, music store,
True,
everything, and then right in the middle, there's a coffee bean, and the coffee bean has been Persianized as well.
Yeah.
Because you go there on any given day, and what do Persians like to do? Dress in all black. I know we're not, but like...
Well, I sort of am.
Or
but
you
not
know,
really. I don't
you have the
normally.
color, you have
I
the
do
color.
wear
I
colors.
wear all black. I love it. It's one of my favorite outfits is
Why
wearing
is
all
it
black.
that Persians like to wear black?
I don't
Have you
know,
ever
but
figured that out?
is it an LA thing? Because I see that all the time.
It's amazing because LA has a beautiful weather, so it's like mostly warm, except this last winter that it's been crazy. But
Yeah.
generally speaking, we have nice, or we're supposed to have a nice sunny weather in Southern California. But yet people wear blacks, and I think black is usually supposed to be wearing when like it's cold, winter, fall. But still, Persians like to wear black.
All year
Don't know
round.
why
Doesn't
that
matter
is.
what the weather is.
It's a cultural
but
thing again.
It might be an LA cultural thing. I don't know. But you go to the Coffee Bean, you will see any given day at least, 1 or 2 or 3 Persian person, an Iranian person, at least like maybe a man wearing all black with a black leather jacket. And they think like they think like
They
they're
also
Italian.
play backgammon.
They play backgammon, they play cards, they sit there by the fire pit saying, "This is my office, free Wi-Fi." Like they buy one purchase for the whole day, and it's their their office for the whole
The
day.
nice cheap office.
Nice cheap office by the fire pit.
Absolutely.
No, but what's funny to me is that you know, they dress like that, right? But it's like they also want to look Italian, I think. And I don't know if that's just the Iranians in LA, but I'm like, they're like the Sopranos minus the killing, you know? Like
Yeah,
they say, my name is Tony. I know so many Iranians whose name is Tony. Like they say, my name
you're
is
right,
Tony.
You're right. Actually, it was even more so, or I noticed it more so when it was the time of revolution.
Okay.
That Iranians were having a difficulty, especially if they lived in the U.S.
Yeah.
Not so much in Europe, but in U.S. they really were having a hard time, especially during the hostage era, to say they're Iranian. So most Iranians became Italian.
Oh, is that
yeah.
what it is?
Oh, yeah. So
they
if
just
you ask
became
them,
Italian?
they would say, I'm from Italy.
Oh, okay.
And yet, obviously, they couldn't say a word in Italian.
Yeah.
But they would be Italian. And then I think the name Tony maybe kind of started off from back then, if I'm not mistaken.
And then The Godfather came out, and then I think that
Totally.
was the inspiration.
Yeah. So anyway, so tell us about, thank you for, doing what I asked you to do.
Was that
on
good
the
enough?
spot.
I don't know.
It was perfect.
If I think of more, I'll let you know.
I appreciate that because after all, that's what you do. So I had to catch you asking you to do it on the spot, improvise, because you do improvisation, right? It says on your bio.
I studied at 2 improv schools, graduated recently.
It's beautiful.
Last year, yeah, and it involved sketch writing, improvising, and we at the end had shows, and we sold out on our shows. It was just the most amazing experience. If you're wanting to, you're aspiring to be a comedian, I highly recommend going to like the Second City or UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade. They're phenomenal.
Thank you for saying that. That was one of my questions to ask you about, advising others who are maybe watching the show, maybe want to follow your path or becoming a stand-up comedian, especially if they're ladies. What would you suggest?
Oh, yeah.
And if there are any difficulties that they should avoid to, prevent, making it harder on themselves when they come into this. If you can tell them, that would be greatly appreciated.
Of course. And also, you feel free to reach out to me. I would love to inspire, empower anyone who's like interested in the arts and entertainment, in this industry. You want to be a comedian, you want to be an actress. I mean, just reach out to me. You could message me on social media, and I would love to, help.
She's a good teacher. So
I would love to help.
I guarantee you she would help.
I get such a joy to see people wanting to break out from the norm and really follow their passion and their dreams.
Talking about breaking out the norm, how did your family? I like that laughter. That says it all.
That's my answer.
That says it all. Okay, I got the message.
No.
But I want to make sure my viewers get the message too.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, how did your family react to when you first said you wanted to become a stand-up comedian? And what do they say today?
Well, I think they were at that time used to me. It was probably like my 5th career by then.
Okay.
They're used to me like going after my dreams, and they kind of know by now. At that point, they were, I think, not taking it seriously. They're like, okay, she's just doing something for fun or as a hobby. But then when I really enrolled myself in school, right? So that's another motivation. You want your parents to take you seriously? Go to the comedy schools and say, hey, I'm in school again.
Yeah, to prove them that you mean business.
Because there's structure there, and it's a really highly supported community. And I'd say that, again, what you need in this industry is a community. You need support. You need that support.
For anything you do in life, you need the support of your community, loved ones, family, friends, community to become successful. Really.
Right. And so it was my one of my first few shows that I did. My mom came.
Aww.
And it was at the Comedy Store. It was at the main room, and she was there. And
where was the first venue when you actually had a show? First place after
Comedy Store.
Comedy Store.
It was.
How
it was
long
after
for?
2 months.
Oh, wow.
Only after 2 months of starting, and I was really fortunate. And then a week after that, I got to be on another show at the Comedy Store in the main room, which is like 300 people. And then, because the first show was in the belly room, so it was only like 80 to 90 people. And then the next week, here, can you do this one? And it had headliner, Anthony Jeselnik was the headliner. And then a few months after that, I got to be fortunate enough to be on the same show with Maz Jobrani.
Yes, a good friend of mine.
At the Comedy Store as well.
I have the pleasure of interviewing him numerous of times, and also, his friend. He's great, and he really supports others, which is why I really have a lot of respect for him. Not only he's a great comedian himself, but he's always trying to support and help others in need, which is very important.
I was really impressed how he was so kind. When I shook his hand, met him backstage in the green room, he was so sweet, and like he even gave me a hug and took a picture with me, and he was just really kind, as if he wasn't who he was, he was just a normal person.
Yes.
And I love that. I love that about someone who's a celebrity.
Yeah, it's very important that once you are famous, you still know how to handle yourself.
Yes, yes.
Because some of us, unfortunately, once we have a name out there and we become a celebrity, we forget to continue being a human being. And we think we're very special, and we kind of tend to forget that if we are in a special place, it's because of people around us. They made us feel special. So if we want to continue being special, we might as well know how to behave and kind of deserve that special treatment.
Right.
Because if not, before you know it, you won't be as popular and as
of course it's fleeting
anymore.
It's very fleeting. It'll go away overnight
before you know it.
Before you know it. And so what going back again to kind of a full circle to what you asked me earlier, everything happens for a reason, because what you just said right now about you have to be a human, even no matter how famous you get. I feel that if I didn't have the history of all the work I did and all the careers I did, and going after all the passions, going after all my dreams, going after personal development work, which is so important, grounding, knowing who you are, being centered and connected. And if you don't have that, you're just going to be blown in the wind, and you're going to lose yourself, and fame will just take you, suck you up, so
totally. I 100%
you have to be rooted.
And this is a great advice that you talked about it to our viewers from your point of view. And I want to also ask you about when you do a show, first of all, has it been a moment that you forgot your lines? Because you do write for yourself before you go up there. Obviously, you're not going to read from it. You improvise, you remember whatever you wrote. Has it been a moment that you're up there, you get so excited that you think, oops, I forgot what I was going to say. How did you handle it, if it happened?
Oh, yeah, it did happen. I have the video on YouTube.
To prove it.
To prove it. But it did happen on one of my shows where I was talking about something about Facebook, and then I was laughing so hard at the jokes of myself. I was laughing on stage, and for a second I forgot what was my next subject because I didn't have a segue. I didn't have a transition. Gotcha. So I'm like, oops. Oh yeah, flamingos. That's why I forgot, because I had no connection between the two subjects. So, but it was such a important moment, because it made me improvise and laugh at myself and be comfortable with the stage.
That's the best way to get out of it.
Yeah, and to
and to be honest about it. Sometimes.
And to be I was, and I'm like, oops, I guess I had no segue. That's why flamingos.
Now, tell me, do you pick on people who are there in your audience? Because again, some comedians do that. They pick a person or a few people and get their names, have a conversation.
Yeah.
Do you have that
to do
in your shows? Pick,
crowd work?
Suzi, you're sitting there, whatever.
Right.
Or no? Or
sometimes
you do that.
Sometimes, but I do have. I tend to stay on track with my set.
Okay.
And unless if I feel like I have more time, then I'll maybe play with the audience. But I like to kind of stick to the set and the structure of what I'm talking about, because what it is that there's not that much time.
True.
And I'm already nervous that I'm not going to finish my set.
Right.
So I try to stay rehearsed.
Right. It's easier to handle it that way, I guess, sometime, right?
Yeah. And then sometimes, I will ask an audience member some questions, and it'll just be it's part of my set.
Has there been ever a difficult moment for you being up there And, you know, in every audience, we sometimes get to have some people who may be out of line, out of place. I've experienced that being on the radio and TV.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes when you had people calling and they're out of line, they're out of place. Not necessarily they don't want to be rude, but it's just like not here nor there.
Right.
So have you come up with that being, you know, some people in the audience say something in the middle of you doing your work?
Oh, yeah. I've had a
And
heckler.
How do you
Yeah.
handle it?
Well,
what I'm trying to
this
ask.
was like a very another growth moment, inspiring moment, because it was at a show, and then this lady starts talking back, and we call them the hecklers, and she was heckling and kind of questioning what I was saying, and then I turned it towards her and I gave her all my attention, because I'm like, here she is, she wants attention.
That's what they want.
They want
sometimes.
attention.
Yeah.
So I wasn't scared to engage with her. I'm like, okay, so what's your name? All right. So, and I started talking to her.
Beautiful.
And then what happened is it smoothed over. What I've seen comedians do that I disagree with is that they get into battle with that person and they start to get angry because they got, you know, they're nervous or something, or they're frustrated that they get thrown off. But I found like kind of shower them with more love.
And sometimes that will keep them
diffuse
quiet.
And, you know, it turned her around. She started laughing.
There we go. So
And
you have a great approach.
Well, I don't know.
Good for you.
I was
That's
in the
your
moment.
sociology coming in.
There we go. So, and politics.
Everything you've done has become helpful, I bet.
Right.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, I know since you've become a stand-up comedian, you did say because there's not too much money in it, or at least not for time being.
Right.
You're doing another full-time job, which
Yes.
is working with the lawyers.
Yes.
And, with your background, I'm sure they're happy to have you, and vice versa.
I'm very happy to be
and,
there. Yes,
so
it's
at
good.
nights you do your stand-up comedians. How many nights a week do you do your shows nowadays?
It varies. You know, sometimes we get booked for that week. Sometimes we get booked.
Do you have
like
an
months
agent?
in advance. No.
So you do it all by
I'm
yourself?
all by myself.
One woman's show.
A
Just like I do.
one-woman show.
Just like what I do, okay.
I'm my own publicist, manager,
Yeah.
agent. I mean, I know that's eventually the next step, and like that's what I need. But in the meantime, you know, it's like
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I just put myself out there. Social media is a great avenue for marketing myself, and then I get a lot of my bookings like through social media because I'm always posting jokes every day. So
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's working out for you. Now, before I forget, I want to once again talk about your upcoming show, unless you
Yes.
have other shows besides the June 1st.
I
at
do have
UCLA.
one more, June
Tell us about it.
17th on a Monday night at 8 p.m. at Flappers. It will be my first time performing at Flappers Comedy in Burbank.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
So you got to be in Burbank area. There are a lot of Armenians, Iranians
Yes,
in
yes.
Burbank, Glendale. So those are we know that the Armenian community are really, really helping the artists here in town. Whatever concerts are happening in Los Angeles, they go for it.
Yes.
They love to support arts and artists, which
Yes.
is great. My hat's off to all of them, really. And then the next one that Kat has is with a group of stand-up comedians, June 1st at the UCLA, that I guess you can go online and get your tickets. June 1st, there's going to be a few of them. Mona was here, you've met her. Sarah Fatemi, you've met her. Now you've met Kat. And also Tehran, I'm sure plenty of you guys who like stand-up comedians, you know name of Tehran, his personality. He's hosting that show June 1st at UCLA. So I would definitely plan it and mark my calendar to go see that show as well. And let's keep in touch and
Yes.
maybe have you back here. You can sometimes co-host the show with
Oh
me
my
if you
God,
like.
I would love
Because we were
to.
talking and Kat was saying that at some point she did have a show on TV for a brief period of time, but nonetheless she did, and she's happy in front of the camera. She's not a camera shy person. And so
goodbye.
maybe you and I can do shows together
I
at some
would
point.
love that.
Yes, I'm officially offering you.
Oh my
position
God!
of a
Okay,
co-hosting.
yes, you guys are my witness. I said
Okay.
yes.
Cool.
She said yes. Right?
Yes, there we go. A
That
verbal
would be
contract
great.
on the air.
Yes.
Seriously, it was
Thank
a pleasure.
you. Oh my God, this was
having
so
you.
much fun. I can't believe an hour went by so
And
fast.
it's our first time meeting one another, by the way,
Yes.
so that you know, for the record. But it's totally a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
And,
such an honor to be here.
And I wish you all the best.
Thank you so
and
much.
anything I can do to help you become more successful,
Oh,
if
thank
if
you.
I can, that is.
You've
let
done
me
a
know.
lot. This is an amazing platform. You have an amazing audience. I know people
thank
follow you and support you.
I
So
appreciate that. And thank you, Fred Parvane, Parvane for introducing us
Oh,
to one
yes.
another.
Shout out to Fred
A
Parvane.
good
Thank
friend
you
of
so
ours.
much. Yes.
Thanks again, and until next week, have a wonderful week.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye.